coming at you straight thugging it today for the March update. Not really, that'd be silly, but you know, you got messy hair, you just don't care. But my name is Paul, coming at you with the March update. For those of you who don't care about my life, you can clearly turn this off because this video is not for you. But in case you want to learn something interesting, hopefully unique from my experiences that I've had this past month, then man, please stick around for a little bit and we're going to talk about a few things. The biggest thing is messaging matters, family matters, and start applying what you know. I mean, those are some big lessons. In fact, I'm going to write that down as we're filming this video. Apply, apply, apply. Seriously, it is huge, and that's one of the biggest things that I've walked away with from this past month. But anyways, my month has been absolutely coconuts for the exact same reason yours has been absolutely coconuts, and that's because of COVID-19 coronavirus as it's sweeping not just the nation, but the freaking world. It is literally not straight coconuts. And this is just an awful thing, coronavirus, but there are some silver linings. Like, it has allowed companies and individuals and people to be creative. You have to give creative solutions. One of the things that I hope you're going to be getting from this video, along with all the others, is just a way to better engage and serve your community. Everything that I'm learning, everything that I'm doing is around that one singular focus. How can I better engage and serve my community and my customers? And how can I use that experience to help you better engage and better serve your customers and your community? So the first things first, coronavirus, absolutely wild. I'm now working from home, have been so for just over a week. So yes, for all of you who aren't able to do that, I feel so sorry for you. It's a lot of fun working from home, but thank you for what you are doing. It's a huge thing for those of you who are in healthcare, for those of you who are in grocery or supply chains in that sense, for those of you who are carriers, truck drivers, zooming all over the road. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And honestly, I could stop this video and that would be enough, but I want to continue on because I want to add more value. So get creative with your solutions. If you are in whatever industry it is, you have to get creative. For me, I can't meet anyone face to face. I can't have coffees. I can't have any meetings with people right now because I care about my health and the health of my family. So I have to get creative solutions. Easy ones are Zoom meetings, phone calls, and the like. But maybe you have some sort of product. Maybe it's mosquito control for the summer as we're heading into those months. And instead of just discounting your product price, why don't you sell the value of you are giving families a safe environment for them to enjoy their summers while they are living at home. Think of a way to market it in a little bit different of a way to get out in front of people. Maybe it's another product like you're a bookstore and you're selling books. Think of ways to creatively give away your books, even though you are a brick and mortar store. You have to be creative with your solutions. I heard one story of these event wedding planners, and they're like, oh, you can't have weddings. It's like illegal. They'll kill you if you have a wedding. Not really kill you, but you know, maybe a fine or jail. But one of the ideas that they said, how could we do it maybe where we have this huge Zoom and Skype call and we mail out all these little individual packages, champagne bottles or whatever it is, little sparkling apple cider, and we get everyone on this one Zoom call and we have a huge celebration and everyone's there and enjoying it from their homes and having this little life-giving celebration. Just fun, unique ideas like that. But the biggest thing for me that I've noticed with the coronavirus is it has sparked more family time. If you haven't had more family time, then I don't know who you are, what you're doing, honestly, but this has sparked more family time for us, and we've really made the most of it. We've really enjoyed our time with each other, and it's been a ton of fun being able to really just get some unique quality time together. And one of the things that has really sparked from that is cooking. We're not great cooks, but we have taken this opportunity to really grow our skills and grow our creativity when it comes to cooking. And it's been a lot of fun taking some of that stress off of my wife and being able to be creative and think of not new dishes, nothing's really new in that sense, but just different twists and turns on some of our classic favorites. We've made fried rice a handful of times. We've never done that before. We've got some yum sauce to go along with it, but that has been a lot of fun, and that has really shown me that I love working with my hands. So I've loved being able to dive into the culinary world and start cooking more. It's been a ton of fun, and I would encourage you to find something to do with your hands. One of my goals eventually, or one of the things that I would love to do eventually in life, is make bespoke cigar boxes. Really creative, really ornate, really cool, simple. I know there's a lot of conflicting words in that, but bespoke cigar boxes, simple, really nice cigar boxes, we'll say that. And I'd love to do it because I like getting busy with my hands. I like working with my hands, let me say it that way a little bit more appropriately, but I like working with my hands. And so I want to encourage you in this time to not just sit on your booty, but to work with your hands, do something creative, get out there with your significant other, with your family, spend more time with them. Don't just sit down, but actually do something to really build that community. And one of the other lessons that I've learned is you can't get tunnel vision. In business and in life, you cannot get tunnel vision. So coronavirus happening. A lot of these stories are revolving around coronavirus. You have to switch your messaging to what is happening right now, to today. So we have a deck. It is not a large deck, but it's not a small deck, and so I have to replace some wood. And so I went to Home Depot, purchased all the supplies. So I'd go into will call, pick them up, literally just grab bags and go, get out of there. But one of the things I need to do was purchase some wood, and I hate having people pick out my wood for me because I'm sure there's gonna be knots. I couldn't use either side. It's warped, it's bent. So I went there, got the wood, 16 feet long, got one of my friends, Caleb Wilkes. We may have mismeasured his truck and it didn't fit. So we probably looked like idiots for 45 minutes at Home Depot trying to fit 16-foot boards and basically a 14-foot truck. We couldn't really fit it through some windows. It would have probably smashed something. The truck bed was seemingly like 2.5 feet, and so there's 18 feet for there's just tons of feet of the board hanging off, and we just looked like idiots. But long story short, I eventually called my wife and was like, hey, we're gonna have to do this, and she flipped out. She's like, I knew it wasn't gonna go great. I knew it wasn't. Paul, you've risked yourself, you're risking our family. And I myself may have viewed it as a little bit of a, not an over-exaggeration, but like an overreaction. But the coronavirus is real. It is incredibly deadly. It's something to really think about. And it just caused this little bit of a rift for a few moments. Between us, we're great now, we're fine, we're joking about it now. But at the same time, I got this tunnel vision that I had to complete my project. I had to do it in my way. It had to be very specific. And in business and in life, we can't get tunnel vision because when we do, that tunnel vision makes it so we're focusing on us, you alone. You're not focusing on anyone else or anything else. You're just focusing on you and what you think is best for you. But guess what? Other people's opinions and thoughts and ideas may make and shape your idea, your project into something way better, something infinitely better than what it could have been on your own. So I want to encourage you to break away from tunnel vision. If you're going so gung-ho towards some idea or project, take a moment, stop, put on the brakes, and ask some people around you for their opinions. If you're trying to sell something to someone else, you cannot get tunnel vision. You will lose out on hundreds of thousands of dollars of sales. You will lose out on potential customers. You have to break away from getting that tunnel vision. You don't want to be like me and cause this rift in a relationship. You don't want to be like me and waste an hour and a half, 2 hours of your time looking like an idiot and just not spending it with who matters most, your family. So don't get tunnel vision. Personally, professionally, leave it at the door. One of the things that I'm doing that technically has started in April 1st, but I recorded the videos a little bit ago, but it's this WFH workout. Hashtag WFH workout. It's this workout community I'm doing on LinkedIn. You can find it, WFH workout. That hashtag is on LinkedIn. You can look up WFH workout on YouTube. You can follow my channel, subscribe, and you'll see those videos that come out once a week. And it's for the purpose of building a community around folks that are stuck working at home because of COVID-19, but you don't want to be lazy. You don't want to be a couch potato or a fatty 2x4 that can't fit through the kitchen door. So we're trying to get the blood flowing, the blood pumping. And so what I've done with help from this idea sparked between another group that I'm a part of, where it's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're getting together in a virtual way where I put out a video, I tell you what the workouts are going to be. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m., on the hour, you get up out of your seat, you do that workout. The workouts are going to last 2 to 3 minutes at best, at most, I should say, and that's it. But I want to encourage you to find ways to create and spark community. Please join this WFH workout community. I'd love to have you do these videos and do these practices, but other than that, find ways to make community, find ways to connect. Life is all about connections. We were literally made and formed in community. Whether you agree with it or not, you long for community. And so we need to figure out ways when we are supposed to be social distancing, where we're supposed to be self-isolating in some aspects, to build and grow community. So let me encourage you in that. And one of the last few things I want to talk about this month that I learned is that messaging matters. Messaging is incredibly important. It is so important. And one example that I gave in this newsletter that I have, the 111 newsletter, I'll have a link to that in the description below. I hope you would join that newsletter. It's also about helping you engage and serve your customers better. But I gave this one example why messaging matters. I wanted to help grow my newsletter, and so I had this post that says, hey, if you want free pie, please follow this newsletter, make a comment, do whatever. But if you want free pie, here it is. And it was a few weeks ago, or it was last week. Goodness gracious, it was last week, and no one signed up for my newsletter. There was 191 views that I had on LinkedIn. Nothing came of it. So I switched up that messaging. The messaging of free pie in a world of corona, in a world of stress and anxiety, doesn't mean anything. So I switched to my community and said, hey, if you're having trouble engaging your customers, if you're having trouble serving your customers, if you're having trouble building relationships, if you're having trouble building this community, then this newsletter is for you. If you want to grow if you want to better engage and better serve your customers, then you need to follow this newsletter. And with that, within less than 24 hours, I got over 550 views. I got, I think, 2 or 3 comments, 4 follows, all of this in less than 24 hours. Because I switched and changed my messaging, because your messaging for your product or whatever you're offering matters. It matters more than you could ever know and more than you could ever realize. The last 2 things I'll say really are, this is a time for you to renegotiate contracts in terms. I'm in logistics and supply chain, so I work with over 16 carriers, and one of the things that I'm doing is renegotiating those prices for the lanes, the rate per miles. And I'm also renegotiating the terms for when we need to get those bills paid. We're a solvent company, we're doing great, but it's one of the things to do in times of stress, of times when the world is like this. This is the perfect time for you to renegotiate terms, renegotiate contracts to see if it can better you and honestly the person that you're in the contract with. And that really came from this idea that I heard in this one, not conference, but this one little Zoom meeting that was put out off the cuff from Donald Miller and Mike Michalowicz, talking about how are you as a small business, can you really ride through these tough times? And that was one of the ideas, is renegotiate your terms, renegotiate the contracts to better help you and to better serve your customers in the long term, in the long run, so that you can still be in business at the end of this. And so I just wanted to encourage you to do that, because one of the things I learned in actually applying what I actually heard from that conference, that Zoom meeting that I went to, was you need to apply the ideas. You just can't consume knowledge. You just can't consume content. You actually need to apply it. If you're just consuming, you're doing nothing but being a couch potato. You're doing nothing that is actually benefiting. It's not benefiting you. It's not benefiting anyone else. Whatever ideas you read or hear, whatever conversations you have, whatever videos you watch that give you some insight, apply those ideas. Apply what you are learning. If you're not applying it, you're not growing. Others aren't growing. You're not really benefiting anyone, not even yourself. So let me encourage you with that. Apply, apply, apply. One of the words that is forming the rest of my year is application. And so to put out a little bit of a hint for what's going to come next is I'm applying all of what I'm learning right now, or as much as I can of what I'm learning right now over the next 3 months, and doing that to gain experience, to gain content, to gain some different insight and actual experience that I can give and help others with. After that, the next 3 months, I'm going to be blogging about it more. I'm going to be writing about it a little bit more. And then around October, November, I'm going to be releasing something. And as the time gets closer, I'll be informing you all. But this very long, over 14-minute update for March is all of what I've been learning. I hope these tips, I hope these tricks, I hope these ideas, I hope these stories are helpful for you in helping you better engage and serve your customers. Leave a comment down below, like it, subscribe to my channel, please. If you wouldn't mind, actually, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe. I'd love it. I'd appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. Change your messaging, make it work. Anyways, deuces, adios. Talk to you next time in April.